FLOSSTUBE. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in South Jersey. My name is Debbie, and today is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, and this is FLOSSTUBE number 11, my July stitching update. Next month is my 12th FLOSSTUBE, my 1-year FLOSSTUBE anniversary. We'll get to that later. So thank you to everyone that watched my very disorganized, discombobulated 10th FLOSSTUBE. I was trying to squeeze it in, and I thought it was a mess. But thank you to all of you who liked, subscribed, commented. I thought it was a mess, and I ended up with a bunch of new subscribers. So maybe messy is the way to go. I don't know, but thank you anyway. Okay, this isn't going to take too long, which is good. So I'm going to tell you what our agenda is, and you can stay or leave at any point. I'm hoping the light is still good right now. About another hour. There's sliding doors right in front of me. I'm going to be blinded in about an hour, but not yet. So here's the agenda. I have 10 whips from July, which includes a new finish. And if you've been around a while, we all know what finish it is. I think I complained about it plenty last month. I have one past finish to show you. No new starts this month. I have one piece of haul. We're going to talk about floss tubers that I am watching, either continually watching or new to me. And I only pick a few. I watch a lot of floss tube, but I only pick a few. Future plans, it's the little things segment, book talk, and binge talk. And we'll be out of here, and you'll be free to go about your business. So why don't we start with a past finish? And I've been showing you these every month. Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month. This is August. And this goes on my board in my office. I really like this. I'm not a blue person, but I really like this one. And it just, wait, let me take a peek. Okay, it's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. There are the magnets. And it just sticks to the board. And every month I change it. And they bring me joy. And there's more of those series. I saw them. They came out, I feel like it's Country Cottage Needleworks, came out with something new for every month. But it looks like a lot of stitching. If you know what I'm talking about, or you are stitching them, comment below. I would love to know what you think, and if I'm right that it is a lot of stitching. But they were a lot of stitching, the cottages of the month, and they were only about like 77 by 70 or something like that. Like, not a lot, no problem, but it was a lot. And then the bane of my existence during my month of June, but it's a finish. Sweet Summertime, Counting Puddles, Lindsay Whitney. Framed by me, so it's probably crooked, I'm sure. But it's finished. I swore I'd have it up this summer, and I do. It hangs in my kitchen, kind of where I film a lot of the time. I just decided to change it up in my dining room today, and kind of in a different spot in my dining room, just moving about the place. Not quite what I envisioned. Love the frame, Hobby Lobby frame. This mat board, I had this. I have it in a bunch of colors. All the colors were very dark. This was the lightest one. Not really what I had envisioned. I would love to do like a light blue. It's not really, I don't know how glued down it is. So I may change it for next year. I may just call it a day and be happy with it. I'm happy enough with it. It was really fun to stitch until it wasn't. It was really, really fun to stitch. It was a lot of stitches, but the back stitch. So we won't get into that. I believe I covered the complaining last month about this and the back stitch. So, but the back stitch is kind of essential, right? Like it needs the things. So these were French knots. They are just X's in my design because I was going to do beads. I thought about beads. Like I had beads that would work in the bluish color. I was kind of over it. But this is stitched on 20 count white Aida by Zweigart. And I started it May 15th, 2025, and I completed it July 23rd, 2025. And it really, really cut into my stitching on anything else. So I hurried to get, which amazingly, I still have 9 other whips. Do I have 9? I'm looking at my notes. I have 9 other whips, which is somewhat miraculous considering I spent almost the whole month stitching that and would just take breaks periodically to stitch on something else just to give myself a break. So, okay, moving on. Whip number 2, technically, but 1 on my list. Because Sweet Summertime was definitely a whip, but at least it's a finish. And it's framed, and it's hanging, and it's probably crooked, and it's okay. Black Cat by Candlelight by Artisy. Not only is my fabric always wrinkled, but even my photos are wrinkled. Sorry about that. This is stitched on 18 count ivory Aida, and I started it May 1st, 2020, right in the heart of the pandemic, or right in the start of the pandemic. And I love this. And I'm not a cat person. I'm very allergic to cats, even though 2 of my 3 children have cats. So, I guess, I don't know what that says. So here's where I am. I am on page 2. So from a distance, you can see the books in the corner. That's right where I am. So pretty soon I'll be getting into some good stuff. I feel like the next time I'm going to try and push for a page finish here. So from a distance, it's great, right? You can see they're clearly books. You can see what's going on. Up close, this green and black is a little light, even though little light coverage. It's 18 count, but you know the dark colors don't always cover. And I complain about backstitch, and then I complain when there isn't any. There is no backstitch in this. So it's going to have to stand on its own, and hopefully the definition will be good enough. But I didn't take it out of the Q-snap because there's nothing else to see. That's it. And that was fun. And honestly, if I didn't spend most of the month on Sweet Summertime, I probably would have spent more time on that. Number 2 is a new Constellation by Plum Street. Part of, I think there's the Heritage Sampler, and there's another one, and I think I have them both. But this is stitched on 28 count Legacy Lugana. Hold please. 28 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus, and I started this May 21st of 2021, and I got the words done, at least those words at the top. I'm so happy about that. This is how I learned to stitch on over one. This was the project, and at first I hated the words, and now I find them just normal. Your eyes make the adjustment. Everyone said they would. So that's the end right here. So it's longer than wide. So mistake number 1, or so far maybe the only mistake, the words were supposed to be stitched with 1 strand, which would have made life easier. But I started with 2, and there was no going back. So the words are going to be very prominent. But then these initials are stitched with 1 strand. And I don't know that I love that. This is 1 strand. It's just a little light, so I'm kind of liking the two. But that's where I got. Very soon working my way down into more of that over one blue down there. Had I just put it on blue fabric? Nah, then the rest of it wouldn't have looked right, I don't think. Maybe it would have. That's a fun one to stitch on. Again, all of these were a little abbreviated as far as time goes, because I was very anxious to get caught up. So now I'm caught up. So August will be just like a normal month of stitching. Number 3, I call them clocks. And I am sorry, but believe it or not, this is the only picture of the entire thing in the magazine. They made it into a pillow, but I don't know why they just couldn't show it. Maybe in a bigger version. I call it clocks. It's called Turn Back Time. And I started this January 22nd of 2020. Let me see if I can tell you what magazine it's in. No, I cannot. Oh, Cross Stitcher magazine. I don't have a date, but if you want to know, ask, and I'll get it for you. And I did not take it out of the hoop, because pretty much this is all of it. So see, it literally starts like you kind of have to frame it or mat it right up against here. And it ends the same way, like the way it ends over here, same thing, like the clock is kind of cut off. So it was an interesting experiment with this. I saw Jen Lee do this. When did I start this? January 22nd of 2020. So I saw her do this before that. Oh, and it's stitched on 16 count Sage Summer Khaki, back when 16 count was my preferred count. And I think she added gold, or she talked about using different colors. So it just uses white, red, and black. I decided to add gold to it. I think that was a new decision. Yes. Just, it uses B5200, 310, and 606. So I decided to add the gold. And this was quite the experiment. So this red is the same color red. But look at how it shows up different. Same color red. Same, off of the same bobbin. It shows up different when it is up against black or when it's up against gold. But it's the same color red. Is that not craziness? I think, do you remember years ago the dress that went viral on the internet, and everybody was like, oh my God, this gold and white dress is gorgeous. And the dress was not gold and white. The dress was blue and black. But in the photo, you know, lots of people saw white and gold. I saw white and gold, and others saw blue and black. And then when the person whose dress it was showed it, it was blue and black. So just weird, you know, trick of the light, whatever. But anyway, so I changed this. This was supposed to be red and white. No. Yes. Red. The clock was red, and then the whole inside was white. I decided that I was going to do the face in gold, and then I could not decide whether to do black or white. So I did one side in black, I did one side in white, and then I asked Joey Forget About It what he thought. And Joey Forget About It said 100% black. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I love the stripes, but I like them looking a little different. And I put so much work into this that different is okay. But I think it's fascinating that that's the same red. So that was fun, and I would have kept going on that. But I did finish. So the red was all filled in. And then I just finished the clock and moved on. So hopefully that one's getting close. That one's actually really getting close. I should work on it. Okay. Next, Amid Amish Life. This is a blue ribbon winner from the book 101 Best Loved Designs by Better Homes and Gardens. It's a triptych, but I am stitching them together. Why do I feel like I just had this conversation? I know I just stitched on this month, but I feel like we just talked about this. So this is the first one. Is it the first one? Yes, this is the, what will be if you're looking at it, the left-hand side. And I had a lot done in this for the limited time I was giving it this month. This whole roof, got more on these rolling hills. That's a big mama house, but I did not want to work on another house. So I just kind of tried to box it in the best I could so that it's an easy place to pick up when I'm ready to go back to it. That one's fun. This reminds me so much of like what we stitched in the 90s, and I just love it. But had to keep it moving. All right, this one, this poor thing is never gonna get done. Let me take off the magnet. This is Mill Hill Tree Farm. It's on perforated paper. I do not remember when I started this, probably 2021 maybe. Oh, how about I show you what it's supposed to look like? There we go. So I'm getting down to, you know how, if you've ever done one of these buttons and beads, you know how it goes, right? Like you go from, there's so much empty space to, I'm done everything but the beads. So I was working on this tree. So now I'm into the trees at least. And then all of a sudden it becomes like a bead thing. You know, it's really strange how it goes from so much blank to, oh, I'm done with all the stitching. Now I start with all the beads. I can't wait. I have the needle workshop and the bookstore. I already have the frame for this because probably when I bought it, I jumped the gun thinking, ha, 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 that I was going to get right on that. Okay, next, one of my faves, Haunted Library by Lola Crow. Stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha. I started this October 9th of 2024. So I really just started this. I think it's come up. This may be the second time it's come up. And I did the books and I did the candles. Had no idea that said Red Room. I was looking at that, I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of coincidental. It looks like it says Red Room. Sometimes. Did I do anything else? Nope, I just did, oh, I think I finished the clown face. He wasn't quite finished. And then I did the candles and the books, and it was surprisingly a lot of stitching. I know it doesn't look like it was, but that took me a bit. But I love this. And Halloween is not even my jam, but that is amazing. And I also have her aquarium, Deadly Aquarium, which Joey Forget About It said, you don't even like water. Why did you buy that? Because Lola Crow did it. That's why I bought it. Okay, next is the Quaker Christmas Sampler by Nancy Waller. It was put out in the Just Cross Stitch magazine of 2021. It was put out in 6 parts. And I was so excited about this one when I started it. Then I kind of lost my mojo, and now I'm back. I think this time and the last time I worked on it, I really enjoyed it. So I am on part 3. Isn't that cute? That's coming out so cute. This is stitched also on 16 count Sage Summer Khaki, just like Turn Back Time. Started 2/18/21. And again, if I wasn't so jammed up for July, finishing Sweet Summertime, I probably would have done the page finish. I mean, it's a, this, I did this whole thing, and this was a lot of stitching, but everything else is like smaller motifs, and then I believe then I'm done going across. But isn't that cute? Very cute design. I love the use of color. Oh, let me say this for anyone interested. This calls for, she's got it charted in Anchor and DMC, but let me figure out the color. Just give me 1 second to figure this out. She's calling it, for DMC, it's color 3051. My 3051 was green. So either I put the wrong color, marked the bobbin with the wrong color number, or either she got it wrong, or I don't know. I switched it. I think that's 9:30, because in the picture it is blue. Is it not blue? It's blue, right? It is not green. The roof, the doors, and mine was very, very like Christmas green-ish, tree green, but it was not blue. So I just found a blue that I liked and switched it. So I don't know what the story is with that, but I figured it out, and I made a note to future Debbie to not go back to the other color. Okay, the Joey Forget About It super secret project. Not that he watches, but if you're watching, Joey Forget About It, turn away and cover your ears. 99 by Ink Circles. Tonight is actually my meetup, and I plan to get all of the shelves, the actual shelves that I've been skipping, done while I'm there, because there's no counting. And I got one more bottle done from last month. Last month I did 4 bottles, which it still looks crooked. This bottle was very crooked. It still looks crooked, but I don't know why. But it's gonna stay at this point. I guess it's not. I guess it's just in my head now that it's crooked. But I did 1, 2, 3, 4 last month. So this month I only got to this one. So I have to finish this row. So I have 5. And then the other half of these shelves have 5. So I have 20 to go, because I have 5 here and then 3 shelves of 5, which is another 15. He's getting this for this Christmas. He is. He's going to be surprised, because he doesn't know what it is, but I know he thinks it's never going to be done. And last but not least, I cannot even tell you, this is a Dimensions Gold Collection Petite, and I can't even tell you how old this is. I want to say my kids were very young, and we used to go take them on like a tropical vacation every year, and I used to bring something small to work on. Dreaming of Tuscany, a nod to my Italian heritage, and it's beautiful. I love it. I just wish it was done already. And this is currently my beach stitch. I stitch this when I'm sitting on the beach and the wind isn't blowing and the whatever's. It's not that easy to stitch on the beach, you know, because I have to hold it, but I have to keep the chart in my lap, even though it's on metal, so it won't blow away, but still, it's not that easy. And this is where I am. You would think 15 years later I'd have something better, but that's it. And it has clearly seen better days. I don't really like to wash the finished pieces unless I have to. And I kind of feel like I'm going to have to. That's the other thing. If you're stitching on the beach, you have to make sure you don't have sunscreen on your hands and the things, right? Sand and all of that kind of stuff. So, not easy. And we actually haven't been to the beach that much. If you live local to the Philadelphia area and the Jersey Shore, you know that it was a very, very rainy spring and early summer every day, but especially on weekends. So I think 4th of July was the first weekend. It was nice, and it's been nice since, but you know, we lost a lot of that. So, and I don't always have time to go to the beach. So, okay, that's it. They are my whips, in spite of the fact that I spent 23 days of the month stitching Sweet Summertime. Nobody was happier than me to see that done, except maybe you, because you don't ever want to hear about it again. I only have one piece of haul, but I will have more next month because I was feeling a little retail therapy. We went on vacation for a few days to Charlottesville, Virginia. They have a wonderful Virginia wine trail, wines all through the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Absolutely gorgeous. We did it last year. We did it again this year for 4 days. And when I came back, we've been back 2 weeks. And when I came back, I was buried in work, like buried, you know, buyers, sellers, showings. Just last week, I drove 300 miles in one day, not for one client. Like I went all the way, you know, for me to central North Jersey, like the top of central Jersey, and then all the way down to the belly of South Jersey for a walkthrough before a closing. So in one day I put on like 300 miles. The state's not really that big, but I managed it. All of this to say, and not that I mind being busy, I love being busy, to say that I needed a little retail therapy. I thought, I'm working hard. I haven't bought anything and I don't really know how long. I'm going to treat myself to a few things because everything cross stitch, is that what the site is? It's not 123 Stitch, it's the other one. They were having free shipping, and they don't do that often, and their shipping is like not a joke. I think 123, it's like $3.49 no matter how much you order. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take advantage of this free shipping. So I went through my wish list, which is filled with things, and ordered a few. I think I only got 2 things. I think I whittled it down. You know, it's like spend $25, get free shipping. I think I spent 27. Because I don't need anything else. I literally don't need anything else. But there were a few things in my wish list. I felt like I deserved it. I've been working hard. I'm still working hard. I'm carving out a little bit of time to do this because last month that was part of my discombobulation with my episode, was the fact that I was really like a week late, and I didn't want to be a week late again. I try and do it I try and do my floss tube somewhere around the 10th of the month, give or take, and that was like the 16th, and I don't think I uploaded it for 2 days after that. So I didn't want to do that. So I carved out a little time, but as a result of being so busy and as a reward to myself, and because they offered free shipping, I picked up a few things that you will see next month, because they're not here unless the mailman comes to the door, in which case you will hear Killer. You won't see her. You can see my front door, but you won't see her because she's much lower to the ground than that. You won't see her unless she jumps up. Okay, so fabric of the month, Atomic Ranch, Rogue Stitching, Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I belong to their Fabric of the Month club. I get it every other month on the even months. And this was, I get 18 count, you could get Aida linen or Lugana. I am now starting to really love 20 count Aida, but they didn't offer it. So 18 count Aida, 17 by 26. Look at this yummy color. It's called Stonehenge. I'm going to stand back. That's showing a little blue. It's more of a stormy blue-gray in real life. That's probably about right. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. And the fabrics are so soft, and I just can't wait to find something to use it on. Find a project to use the fabric for. Wow, that was a lot of words to just say really tiny thing. So that's part of why I also bought a few items. Not that I know what fabric I would use for them, but I just feel like, okay, now I'm getting fabric, but I'm not starting anything. So there is a flaw in my plan. Okay, so that's a long conversation about haul for one thing. Let's go to who I'm watching. Mrs. Smith Stitches, Alana. I've been a subscriber for a couple of years. I just love her projects. I think she stitches beautifully, and she has a variety of projects. She does a lot of different things, and her floss tubes are interesting. So I've subscribed to her for a long time. New to me is Welcome Stitchery, Justine and Shelley. One of them is the shop owner. I feel like it's Shelley that's the shop owner, but I'm not sure. Or maybe they're both the shop owners. They own a shop, a cross stitch shop. I really liked their video as well. I liked the banter between the two of them. They do a really good job. And I watch a lot of FLOSSTUBE, but I need to pare down, and I write down like the ones that really grab my attention. But if I don't make myself a note about why they grab my attention, then I'm not going to tell you until I can tell you why I watch them. So, okay, moving on. Plans. I am not sure. I told you I ordered a few things from Everything Cross Stitch. One of them is a Valentine's tiered tray. And when I made that little mini tiered tray for my daughter for a Christmas ornament last year, I really had fun doing that. So this one's a bigger version, but I have nothing in 35 plus years of stitching, nothing related to Valentine's Day, nothing. So I feel like that'll be a future plan, like maybe started in January. It probably will not take a month, but I'll take a look at it once it gets here. Maybe I'll start it at the end of December when we're all kind of sick of stitching Christmas. Not speaking for you. I'm kind of sick of stitching Christmas. So I'll revisit that. But I think I'd like to have that up, at least one Valentine's thing. And it was really cute. I think it was an Erin Elizabeth tiered tray. So that's really the only stitching plan I have. Now, my next floss tube, I know I said this was going to be short. We're at 33 minutes, so I'll keep plugging along. My next floss tube is technically my 12th and one. It's really, my first floss tube was a whip parade. I had to do it in 3 parts, but if you're counting one, this is 11, next one's 12. And I would be filming that in September. My very first floss tube I filmed in September, the very end of September, like the 28th of September. I did not post it for 3 weeks because I was a chicken and I was afraid to. So, technically, September is my 1 year floss tube anniversary. So, I was going to do a 1 year whip parade. I don't think I'm going to. I think, we just got through the mid-year whip parades. I think I may wait until the end of the year. I mean, in that 2 months difference, I'm not going to get that much further than what you saw the very first videos when I did my first whip parade in 3 parts. I'm not going to be further by a lot than that. I'd rather just kind of keep it consistent and kind of get into the whip parade season like everybody else is in. So I probably won't do a whip parade, but so going back to who I've been watching, I just watched Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, and she had her husband on to rate her whips. Like, 1 is the best, 5 is the worst, and why does he feel that way? Andrew, the runner stitcher, did the same exact thing with his significant other, and I didn't see that. I saw the beginning of it, and I knew what they were getting ready to do, and then, I don't know, I got busy with work or something. And then I saw Megan, and she referenced him as well. So I'm going to go back and watch that. But a few viewers have consistently over the past year asked about Joey Forget About It. So I am going to see if I can get Joey Forget About It to make a cameo appearance with me. And I wouldn't have him do all the whips. There's so many reasons why, but let's start with, I really don't want him to completely understand how many I have. I mean, he can see in the baskets in my office that it's a ridiculous amount, but he doesn't need to know it's like 42. That would just destroy him. He would just be like, could you finish something? Just anything, just finish it. So that's probably why I do things like Sweet Summertime, just so I could say, see, it's finished. And then he gives me a break because for the holidays, I always do something, especially for my daughter who just bought her first house and, whatever. And this year, I think I'm going to do snow globes for everybody. And I think Vanna has a really good tutorial on that. I think it's Vanna Pfeiffer who has the snow globe tutorial. And if it's not, I will get you the answer on that, who it actually is. So see, I do have more plans. Look, I'm talking about snow globes and Christmas presents. Anyway, I think if I can talk Joey Forget About It into making a cameo appearance with me, I might have him just off the top of his head pick his 3 favorite whips. That way, he could get in, he could get out, and I could probably talk him into staying for 5 minutes. And 2, he doesn't need to know how many I really have. And also, he knows what I stitch. He doesn't watch the progress necessarily or whatever, but I think he knows what he likes. So I'll work it out with him. I'll see if I could get him to do it. If you have any questions you would like Joey Forget About It to answer, should I be able to convince him to make the cameo with me, leave it in the comments below, and I will write them down, and we will spring it on him when he makes his cameo. So, so that's for next month's FLOSSTUBE. Okay, so my It's the Little Things segment. My highlighted comment is Carol Atrux, at Carol Atrux. She says she is grateful for moderate temperatures. I hear you. We have not experienced that. It actually was pretty nice this weekend, but moderate. It's been so hot. And I find the older I get, the less tolerant of especially the humidity I am. It just is exhausting. So thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. I, this month, am grateful for audiobooks. Because, as I told you, I have been putting some serious time in the car. And as I traverse the state to meet with my clients or, show houses, take listings, go to closings, whatever it is, and if it's a long drive especially, I listen to an audiobook. So I include those. When I give you my book talk, I will tell you whether what I'm talking about is an audiobook, an actual book, a Kindle book. I will tell you what it is. But audiobooks save me on those rides. I find it very peaceful. And a lot of times being a real estate agent, you don't always know where you are. So, if I'm in Central Jersey, which is, say, above Princeton, so now you're talking 45 minutes north of me, and then another maybe half an hour north of that for a particular buyer, and I'm traveling up there, and I don't necessarily know where I am or where I'm going. I'm just following the GPS, and even going between houses, I don't know, I follow the GPS, but it gives me something like I'm driving, but I'm not worried about the driving, because I'm enjoying someone reading me, telling me a story. And so that is what I am grateful for. I am grateful for audiobooks this month especially. So tell me what you're grateful for. Put it down in the comments below, and I will pick one for next month. And it doesn't have to be gigantic. I mean, audiobooks are not big, they're little. Sometimes it's the little things, right? Okay. Next, book talk. I actually have 2 books for you, because I don't know why I've been zipping through books lately. And I don't know why, but I have. And that's really not like me. So now I'm kind of getting backed up. So I'm going to give you 2 so I could get to where I'm only having to give you 1. So first one is Blind Men Don't Dial Zero by C.A. Larmer. I read this on my Kindle. And the premise of the story is there is a young man who dials zero. I think they're in Australia, and it's set in Australia. And zero must be like our 911. And he says, I just killed my parents. And then he kills himself on the phone. Sorry if this is a sensitive subject. It is fiction. It's fiction, and it's really a mystery. So I had to get through that part so you know what comes next. So sorry. Should have given you the warning first. Anyway, his grandfather does not believe that he murdered his own parents. So even though it's clearly in the zero call, it's clearly in the first responders call, he says, no, I do not believe that is what happened. So he compiles this cast of characters, him and his assistant. So the grandfather is very elderly, and he has this young assistant, and he compiles this cast of characters. One is like a mystery book author. One is the Cluedo champion, which is their version of Clue. And she goes to these like events in the United States and wins the championship. And so she's like an amateur detective. One of them is a journalist. There's like 5 of them. One of them's a private eye who doesn't have his private eye license anymore. And one of them is a retired police officer. So these 5, this cast of characters, he invites them all to his mansion, and he basically says, I want you to get to the bottom of this. I want you to get to the truth. So, of course, initially they're all like, well, it's obvious. And he said, not only do I not think that's the way it happened, but I want you to get to the truth, but you all 5 must work together. Either you all get $1 million each, or none of you do. If one of you walks away, you all forfeit the money. So not only do they need to figure out the mystery, but they need to figure out how to keep the other 4 people in it, right? So each one has their reasons, the pros and cons for being in it. You know, they have like real life stuff going on. So that's what the story is about. And it's actually pretty interesting. Just the cast of characters are interesting, but the mystery itself is very interesting. I'd probably give it a 3.5 or a 4, but it's entertaining, so it's worth it. And like I said, I read it on my Kindle. It was not that long of a book. The next one, Find Me by Alistair Burke. This I read in book form. It's about a woman with no memory. So this woman gets in a car accident. Another woman, an attorney, finds her like on the side of the road or wandering or whatever it was. And she has no memory of who she is. She has no memory of where she came from. None of the things. So she ends up going with this other woman and like kind of building a life in this little small town. And like for 10 or 15 years, you know, still having no idea who she is. Nobody's looking for her. So she just kind of builds this life. But then she disappears. And that's where the mystery starts. And it's very confusing. It's a lot to follow. But if you are fans of Alistair Burke, and I am, it's a good mystery. It's still a really good mystery, and it's not what you think. Like, you, at alternating times, think different things about her and whatever, and it's not like that at all. It's really, it's interesting. I'd give that a 4. So that's it, even though I actually have read more. So we'll do a few more next month. So next is, and final at 45 minutes, is binge talk. This is what I've been binge watching. Me and Joey forget about it. White Lotus on Max, HBO Max. Somebody recommended it. It is 3 seasons. We have watched season 1 and season 2. The White Lotus is a chain of hotels. And the premise is season 1 follows a group of individuals, all separate individuals, all checking into this hotel set in Hawaii. Season 1 is set in Hawaii. And everyone also has a mystery attached to it. So it's not only about all of the people, you know, it's like a storyline for each group of people that comes, but there's also a mystery to be solved. And they usually show you the end first, and then you have to backtrack through the season. And they're not long. I think season 1 was 7 episodes, season 2 was 6 episodes, and I think season 3 is the longest, and it is 8 episodes. Season 2 was set in Italy. There are a lot of subtitles because when the Italian staff is talking to each other, they speak to each other in Italian, and even though it's a lovely language and it's nice to hear, you're reading the subtitles. And season 3 is set in Thailand, and we're only 1 episode into that. But season 1 and 2 was very entertaining and very interesting. I will caution you, there are a lot of sex scenes. It's a lot of strange happenings, not just sex scenes, but just, you know, whatever, people with issues. And I can tell you this, it happened in season 1 and it has happened in season 2. We look at each other and we go, I don't like any of them. Like, I would not befriend these people at a hotel, not any of them. You know, they all have a backstory, and the actors like bring out the backstory without telling you the backstory, but you just know there's like something about all of them, right? And they're all, you know, either escaping something or running to or from something, whatever it is. But very interesting, very entertaining. Do not watch it with your children around. I would strongly caution against that. But if it's just you adults in the house, then it's very interesting. And the premise is really interesting because the characters don't carry over, right? They're only there, the first season, the characters are there for 1 week in Hawaii, and then they're gone. I will say one person did carry over to season 2. And then someone from season 1 is also in season 3, but typically not, you know, like not everybody. There's totally new storylines. So give that a watch if you are interested. And again, caution you, no small children, no medium children, no teenage children probably, but that's up to you. So I think that is everything, because I am at the end of my 5-page notes. Am I? Yes, I am. So that's it for Tuesday, August 12th, FLOSSTUBE number 11, July update. And I will see you next month. Thank you for all who have liked, subscribed, commented. Please continue to do so. I appreciate it more than you can possibly know. And maybe next month I will have a special guest if you guys, one, think that's a good idea, and two, he agrees to do it. So that's it for now. See you next time. Bye.